We are at it again! Hello, welcome to episode 2, the month of villains 8 to 14. That's right. This is coming out much later than I would have anticipated. Sorry, you guys. Let's just get right into it before I delay this video even more. I'm just gonna go out and say it. I'm not really a fan of horror movies. Despite watching a few from time to time, like overall, I find that some of them aren't really that good. Sure, you can argue some are classics nowadays, but if I'm gonna be completely honest, I don't see the need in watching them, or at least for me. However, I did want to make a shout out to at least one or two of them, so I decided to just go with one of the more iconic recent ones with Samara from The Ring. I like that despite, she's, really simple, just simple in design and everything, she surprisingly works as, a creepy threat. You know what? I'll give chops to it. And, while I haven't really seen the movie in full myself, I'm just gonna give shoutouts where shoutouts is due, and, give her the spotlight here. If I had to pick a show that I think surprisingly aged well from my childhood to now, one of them would have to be SpongeBob. Or at the very least, the first 3 or so seasons. Those seasons plus the movie are really good upon rewatch, and honestly, one of my favorite parts of the entire show, even when I was a kid, was Plankton. Plankton is a lot of fun. From all the various ways, Plankton would try to steal the formula, to the various ways he would wind up getting defeated. For some reason, despite being kind of periodic and, kind of samey in concept, the various different ways he goes around doing what he does, it's just really funny, and I just love to just see him go flying back to, his restaurant. Or maybe when he, gets squished or something. I don't know. It's really funny. Also, his voice is hilarious. I really like the voice for, Plankton. It's, he's trying to steal the Krabby Patty formula. It's, really funny. I love Plankton, and it's a note to my childhood that I absolutely needed to add him on here, so thank you for that. Rest in peace, Steven Hillenburg. There is no doubt in my mind when I say that Gravity Falls is easily one of the greatest animated series to ever exist. And there's no denying that Gravity Falls is also Disney's best cartoon. Period. Of course, I can talk about the masterpiece that is The Owl House, or people can also talk about Amphibia, or Gargoyles, or DuckTales, or Star vs. before it completely fell off the wayside, but Gravity Falls still is easily the best of the best. And a big contributor to that is the main villain, Bill Cipher. My god, this guy is great. It's no surprise when the show's creator, Alex Hirsch, decided to voice him that he would bring out as much charisma and charm into every line that he speaks. With that and everything Bill Cipher does, he has easily become an instant favorite of mine. Not just with villains, but just cartoon characters in general. Makes me really miss Gravity Falls because, yeah, the show is now 10 years old, I feel old, and the show's been gone for 6 years, and it still surprises me, and there will never be another show like Gravity Falls, and thank you, Alex Hirsch, for bringing such an amazing cartoon to life. And yeah, that's all I have to say. Speaking of shows that completely fell by the wayside, I would like to mention a Rooster Teeth classic in RWBY, and their main villain, Cinder. Back in 2015, 16, 17, I had some fun with this show. The first 3 seasons were really good, especially the third one, and I did notice a decline in quality over the next 3, but I say those were alright. Not good, but not exactly bad either. However, the last 2 were met with really bad reviews. And a lot of my friends were saying it's awful, the last 2 seasons, and I haven't touched the show since then. And I'm a little sad about that. I did enjoy the characters a lot, and Cinder was easily a top, like, 5 character, I guess. Maybe it's her powers, maybe because at times she could be really intimidating, or maybe because the fight scenes in the show in general were great, and I don't know. I should probably, like, watch the whole show again and watch the last 2 to see what I really think about him, but I just hope that they aren't as bad as people say it is. From one internet cartoon to another, I go into probably my favorite among all the shows that you can like watch exclusively on the internet is a little show known as Epithet Erased. Epithet Erased is so much fun, and I had to give a shout out to at least one villain among this. And my personal favorite among them is Zora. Sure, a show like this would be kind of basic on paper, where it's another show where there's a bunch of people and a small majority of them have superpowers. But in execution, there's a lot more to like about the show, especially with the characters and the various powers that people use, like turning stuff to gold, summoning towers that shoot lightning, and in Zora's case, being able to shift time with basically anything, whether it be reversing time, accelerating time, or freezing time. And this leads to some incredible combinations for her when she's in battle. This is all for me to say. Just watch Epithet Erased because it's only 7 episodes long and you can get through with it within like 4 hours. It's easy. Ah, yes, we go through a classic franchise, TMNT. Now, if I were to be completely honest, when I was a kid, I did not watch much of anything with Ninja Turtles in it. Maybe here and there I'd watch like the 2003 series.
This is some nice steel. How about telling me who gave them to you?
Yo mama.
Which I did enjoy, and later on I would later watch the animated 2007 movie, which is fine. And I've been hearing a lot of great stuff about Rise of the TMNT, and honestly, I probably should watch it because it does look really good. Now to our villain, I decided to flip a coin for either Krang or Shredder. I flipped it, it landed heads, and I'm going with Krang. Now originally, as you can see by the drawing, I was originally gonna have him on like the little rolly cart he would have. However, I think it would be a much more fun idea if he was in the little robot thing he was in. You know, to like have like some like humanoid body and like his little head in the little chamber. It's kind of funny and I like that about it. Which wound up becoming the most difficult part of the entire drawing. Because Krang, for the most part, is kind of easy. Sure, I'd have to include the crucial details like the wrinkles and getting his face right. But overall, this was one of the quicker ones that I was able to do. There isn't much that I could say otherwise, but all I can say is next year I'm definitely doing Shredder for next October, so stay tuned for that. Alright, let's talk about the Owl House. During the time I was doing this challenge, I was actually finishing watching the show because the season premiere was going on around this time. And yeah, I don't think I'm gonna be doing much binge watching after that because that drained me. Regardless, it was all worth it. Of course, I can make an entire video about how great the Owl House is or how Hootie is the greatest creation ever.
Hey, why do they call you the Owl Lady anyway?
Because I'm so wise.
Cause she coughs up rat bones?
But for the sake of time, let's just talk about Bellows. And what a threatening villain he is. Despite only being in the show since very, very late season 1, he has definitely made a huge impact. And because of that, it made the entirety of season 2 such a draining experience, but in all the right ways, because good lord, the things this man has done. Although I can argue that some things about Bellows were pretty predictable, it does not matter because, again, definitely makes up for in all the things he does. It's actually really crazy. I mean, this guy's got a very threatening voice, and I honestly love his design, like, especially his mask. It's really cool. If I say any more, it'll go into some massive spoiler territory, but take my word for it when I say that the Owl House is amazing and Bellows is a great villain, and also was definitely a much better villain than Lilith was. So yeah, there you go. The very, very, very late Month of Villains Week 2. I'm gonna try and get through these videos as quick as I can so that, you know, the series can be done and I don't leave it in the backboard like many other projects I do. So, there you go. Alright, bye.